Welcome to ViewTheRace.com. This is the Mooseman Half Bike Course, Part 2. This is the second half of the bike course, beginning with Groton Road right after the town store in downtown Hebron. Just past mile 27. Now, the second time on this loop, you should have a good idea of what's ahead of you and the challenges that these hills are going to present to you. Hopefully you can pace yourself and get up and over the hills for the second time and then have a nice ride to the finish on 3A. As you come down this long downhill, you're going to take a right onto North Groton Road and head back up that enormous climb. This really is quite a climb. Passing mile 30. Starting to get to the part of the hill that really kicks up. Very, very difficult part of the course right here. Probably the hardest part of the entire course is this next stretch. One of the steepest parts of the course right here. Remember when you can see that house on the left-hand side, or that shack? You're gonna have a little reprieve, and you're gonna have a little break, and you're gonna crest the summit a little bit. Then you're gonna have a short break, and then it goes up again. But just remember, when you can see that house, that you're gonna get a break finally. Now the road kicks up again. It's going to be a little rolling and kicks up again before it starts heading down. fast downhill through here. Very fast. And just remember, as you start to really pick up some serious speed, you come around this corner and you're going to have to take a sharp right-hand turn onto Hallsbrook Road. You really are going to have to slow down and take it easy on this right-hand turn. And then the road kicks up, so you basically lose all your speed. Isn't that always the case? The course finally gives you a really nice downhill, and you have to come almost to a stop to take a sharp right, and you lose all your speed. Now remember, when you see that first truck sign pointing downhill, it's only a short downhill right there. Then it actually kicks up into a pretty good hill before we start going back down again. Be kind of demoralizing to see that downhill sign and then you're faced with this longish hill. Not overly steep, but it's going to be a tough hill before you start going into that crazy descent. Now the very sharp downhill. As I mentioned on part 1, if you're not a good descender, this next section of road is going to be very difficult for you. Very technical, very fast descent. And you're going to see numerous signs telling you that. Absolutely flying through this section with these tight turns. Now you break into that long, very, very fast downhill, and at the top of that hill in the distance, you're going to take a right onto 25 again. Now you have that long stretch on 25 and 3A. And the difference on the second loop is once we get up towards North Shore Road where we took a right, now we're just going to continue on 3A for about 5 more additional miles. And take a right onto West Shore Road. But before we get to that part, we have to go over that enormous hill on 3A that we went up already. So we have one more very major climb on this course, and then we'll be home free with just rolling hills and nothing extreme. One more very big climb to get up and over. Passing the polar caves again on the right hand side. Passing through mile 40. Stay right on the rotary again. Just stay right the whole way. Really is some beautiful country out there. Between the views of the lake, on the part of the course that goes around the lake, and the mountain views, really is a beautiful place to ride a bike. Challenging though, very challenging. So as we come down this long, slight decline, in the distance you can see the beginnings of the last major climb on this course. And here it is. Long, tough climb. You do have a really nice downhill after that climbing. As we approach North Shore Road, we're going to continue straight because this is the second loop. That's the road that you took on the first loop to go back around to Groton Road. So now you're on new territory. And you're going to start off with a slight incline, and then you're going to come down on long, fast downhill. So the downhill continues on 3A. In the next number of miles on 3A, before we take the right on West Shore Road, there's one more decent climb, not extreme, but one more decent climb, and the rest of the course is just rolling. 3A is pretty fair. Most of the hills, you can roll right over them with your carryover speed from the downhill. Really not too tough a road to bike on, at least this section. As we go through mile 50, there's a tough little climb here. It's just a long, slow, gradual climb. Not overly difficult, but after going downhill for the last 5 miles or so, this hill might hurt a little bit. And after you get up and over the hill, you have a nice downhill. It starts going to rolling, but mostly downhill for the next little stretch. Nice downhill right through here. See a little bit of the lake on the right hand side. Another tough little roller right here. But again, once we get up and over it, we're going to have a nice downhill. And at the top of this little hill, we're going to take a right onto West Shore Road and head towards Wellington. And you're greeted with a nice little downhill. And you're going to start seeing views of the lake on the right-hand side. Since this was shot in winter, the lake was frozen, so there's actually ice houses out on the lake. This part of the course is flat, just slightly rolling. Going up another short little hill, and at the top of the hill, we're going to take a right on West Shore Road and continue towards Wellington. You're greeted with a nice downhill right as soon as you turn onto West Shore. And the downhill continues for a good bit. And we're going to take the right into Wellington and head to the transition. Thank you for viewing the race at viewtherace.com.